Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Hoy. In this video, I'm going to discuss factoring trinomials using the AC method. One thing that's really important to note here is that we're going to be factoring trinomials that do not have a values of 1. In previous videos, we only did factoring of trinomials with an a value of 1. Here we have a term of 6. Here is a term of 5. We're going to exclusively deal with trinomials of this type this week. And it's very important that you don't try to take the same shortcut that we used in previous weeks when factoring terms like this. So let's get started with the AC method. The AC method functionally means that you multiply A by C. So you start with an A value, in this case 6, in this case 5, multiply 6 by 5, and you get 30. After getting 30, you then want to think of factors of 30 that are going to add up to negative 13. The factors of 30 in this case that will add up to negative 13 that will add up to 30 are negative 3 and negative 10. You can make a factor list here. You could include that, start at negative 1, go to negative 2, and work your way down. But it's good enough, at least for our purposes here, to jump right to those factors. So negative 3 and negative 10. What we want to do with those factors is rewrite our original trinomial as 6x squared, and we're going to leave that plus 5 out here, and what we're going to have there in the middle is an expansion of this middle term, this negative 13x. We're going to write negative 3x and negative 10x using the factors that we chose above. At that point, all we actually have to do is factor by grouping. You'd start here, factor these two terms by grouping. We take out a 3x. We're left with 2x minus 1. We can jump to these terms here. Factor out a negative 5, because again, our lead coefficient of these two terms is a negative 10, so factor out a negative 5, leaving us with 2x minus 1. Just like we did in previous weeks on factoring by grouping, we're going to pay attention to what's inside the parentheses, making sure it matches up. In this case, the 2x minus 1 from here is the same as the 2x minus 1 from here. So we can write down that as our factor there, and leave the remaining 3x minus 5 as our other factor, leaving us with 2x minus 1 times 3x minus 5. You can always go back and check your work here. The most important thing to remember is how to start this question, and then how to break apart that negative 13x. Ideally, if you get here, you shouldn't have much of an issue, because we're just going over reviewing concepts that we've done in previous weeks. The most important thing, again, start at the beginning, correctly multiply A by C, correctly come with your two factors, and then break apart that middle term. Let's go a little bit quicker through our next example. Next example is 5 and 14 is the A and the C. Multiplying those together gives us 70. We then want to think of factors of 70 that add up to 37. The two factors of 70 that add up to 37 are positive 2 and positive 35. You might want to make a list here. You can use 1 and 70. You can use 5 and 14. You can use 7 and 10. But this is the only pairing that's going to add up to 37. At that point, again, you want to break apart that trinomial from the beginning. We'll have 5x squared and plus 14, just like we did up there. We'll break apart the 37 into a 2x and a 35x, so that we can now factor by grouping. For the first two terms, you can factor out an x, leaving you with 5x plus 2. And for the last two terms, you can factor out a 7, leaving you again with 5x plus 2. As I mentioned before, you want to verify that these are the same. They are. That's 5x plus 2 right here. And that leaves you with an x plus 7 as your other factor.